Hello there, friends. I'm David, and welcome back to Vintage and Rustic, the channel where we explore the beautiful world of antique-inspired, shabby chic, and farmhouse-style decorating. It's always a pleasure to have you here as we dive into creative ways to make our living spaces feel warm, inviting, and full of character. Today, we're stepping outside, but not too far, into the charming, peaceful world of cottage gardens for small homes. You know, there's something magical about a tiny garden bursting with color and texture, wrapped in rustic charm, that makes a house feel like a home. It's like extending your living room outdoors, where nature itself becomes a part of your decor. From climbing roses and wooden trellises to stone pathways and vintage lanterns, a cottage garden can bring that perfect balance of elegance and informality to even the smallest of yards. And when paired with thoughtful DIY landscaping and home improvement projects, it transforms your space into a peaceful retreat where every corner tells a story. Today, I'll be sharing ideas packed with interior decorating touches, home design inspiration, and outdoor styling tips that perfectly suit vintage and rustic homes, offering you endless ways to infuse charm and tranquility into your surroundings. So, grab a cup of tea, settle into your favorite chair, and let's wander together through the delightful possibilities that cottage gardens hold. When you're working with a small outdoor space, the key is to think creatively, just as you would when decorating a cozy farmhouse living room or arranging a charming country kitchen. Start by considering vertical elements like trellises, pergolas, and hanging baskets. These allow you to grow lush flowers and trailing plants without taking up precious ground space, making your garden feel larger and more layered. Imagine old wooden ladders repurposed as plant stands, or vintage window frames hung against a wall with delicate vines weaving through their panes. Both practical and beautiful. Incorporate flowering herbs like lavender, rosemary, and thyme, which not only look wonderful, but also bring delightful fragrances and can be used in your kitchen. Pathways made of reclaimed bricks or irregularly shaped stones add a rustic, well-worn feel, guiding guests gently through your garden's intimate spaces. Surrounding these paths with wildflowers, daisies, and hollyhocks creates a natural, informal look that's typical of classic cottage gardens. And don't forget cozy seating areas. A weathered wooden bench or a pair of wrought iron chairs tucked among the blooms offer quiet spots for reflection. Lighting is also essential in small spaces. Think fairy lights, vintage lanterns, and solar-powered sconces that cast a soft, warm glow in the evening, extending the charm well after the sun goes down. To further enhance the cottage garden vibe, consider adding decorative accents that blend both beauty and utility, much like you would inside your home. Repurposed items like enamel pitchers, galvanized tubs, and old bird cages can be transformed into unique planters or garden sculptures. These pieces bring a sense of nostalgia and character, which is the heart of vintage and rustic style. A small fountain fashioned from aged terracotta pots or a rustic wheelbarrow overflowing with seasonal flowers can serve as a delightful focal point. Edging garden beds with antique bricks or salvaged wood helps define the space, while keeping the look informal and natural. Mixing textures, rough stone, weathered wood, soft blooms, and lush foliage adds depth and interest. As we wrap up our little garden journey, it's clear that cottage gardens offer so much more than just a place to grow plants. They create atmosphere, tell stories, and provide a calming retreat from the rush of everyday life. Whether you have a tiny backyard, a narrow side yard, or even just a front porch, these ideas can be scaled to fit your space and style. The beauty of this rustic, vintage-inspired approach is that imperfection is embraced. Things don't have to match or be meticulously manicured. Wild vines, uneven pathways, and a mix of heirloom flowers and humble herbs feel authentic and welcoming. And by adding personal touches through DIY landscaping projects and salvage materials, you infuse your outdoor space with your own history and personality, just like the cherished objects and furnishings inside your home. These kinds of thoughtful, layered spaces, whether inside or out, are what give a home soul, something I've always believed and try to share through this channel. So, If you've been dreaming about transforming your small outdoor space into a rustic haven, now is the perfect time to start gathering ideas and materials. Walk through flea markets, salvage yards, or even your own attic to find pieces that can be repurposed or upcycled into charming garden features. Look for inspiration in vintage decor books, old country homes, and of course, right here on Vintage and Rustic. Every addition, from a climbing rose to a handmade trellis, becomes a part of your home story. Remember, creating a cottage garden isn't about following strict rules. It's about following your heart and letting your space evolve naturally. As always, thank you for joining me here today. And if you enjoyed this gentle stroll through cottage garden ideas, be sure to subscribe, like, and leave a comment sharing your favorite ways to bring rustic beauty to your home. Until next time, I'm David, wishing you peace, beauty, and a little vintage magic in every corner of your life.